This was the most difficult interview in history, but when the candidates received their exam papers, they were stunned. The exam papers were blank sheets of paper. There was nothing written on them. The candidates were very confused, but they didn't dare to speak up because before the exam began, the examiner announced 3 strict rules. They were not allowed to talk to the examiner or security guards. They were not allowed to leave the room. They were not allowed to dirty the exam papers. If they violated any of these rules, they would be disqualified from the exam. And there was only one answer to this interview.
Best of luck, ladies and gentlemen.
After hearing this, everyone remained silent because the first rule of the exam was not to speak to the examiner. Seeing that no one was answering, the examiner started an 80-minute countdown and left the exam room. Looking at the blank exam paper, no one knew what to do. They had no idea what the exam questions were. It seemed that securing this position with an annual salary of 800,000 yuan was not going to be easy. As time ticked away, a woman finally couldn't take it anymore. She believed the company wanted them to write a professional report. So she began writing on the paper without hesitation, but before she could finish the first sentence, the examiner suddenly walked over to her and, without a word, expelled her from the exam room. It turned out she had violated the third rule of the exam room by soiling the exam paper. Watching the woman be eliminated for writing, everyone quickly put down their pens. Just as everyone was at a loss, a young man suddenly laughed. It turned out he had realized the examiner had only mentioned 3 rules. If he didn't violate those 3 rules, he'd be fine. To test his hypothesis, he directly greeted the bearded man next to him. After all, the exam rules only prohibited talking to the examiner and security guards, not to other candidates. Sure enough, the security guard beside him saw this and did not react at all. With that, the young man became even bolder. Without saying a word, he stood up and even began to walk around the exam room freely. To his surprise, the security guard still did not react. Seeing that the young man's actions were permitted, the others finally dared to speak up. They began discussing why the exam paper was blank. At that moment, a girl with long hair suddenly stood up. She believed that the exam paper might be made of some special material. Perhaps after being exposed to light, the questions on it would appear. The others thought the girl with long hair made sense, so they also began shining light on the exam paper to try to make the questions on the blank paper appear. However, after some experimentation,